Welcome back to Hytale Lore, y'all. This is going to be a short and sweet one, but one that I'm very excited about, especially because I've been doing so much with it outside of these videos and this channel and everything. I've been working very hard. We're going to talk about worldgen today. So first and foremost, we have a little blurb to read. On the ancient gateway here in the game, it reads, though the curse keeps Gaia's Orbis locked away, there are ways to pierce the void that veils it. This is a tool tip that I have never paid attention to before, but definitely ends the whole debate of, is the game that we're playing in actually Orbis, or is it just purely pieces of Orbis? And it is pieces of Orbis. So it looks like when the new world generation comes into the game, that will legitimately be Gaia's Orbis. At least that's the implication that I'm getting from this so far. And that the curse placed there by the Void, by Varian, is obscuring it and keeping it locked away and hidden. So we're going to go visit those little pieces of the actual Orbis that we can see in the game so far. I'm going from, in my mind, like, honestly, least exciting to most exciting. That's how I've lined this up. So we're going to start with Wind Rider Valley. So when we open this up in the ancient gateways, we get a little picture here, and then we get little tips and a description. I'm actually going to begin at the bottom right here because I think this is most relevant to what we're talking about here. It says, the energies within this fragment have yet to take their final form. All you encounter within, lore, function, and form, awaits its true shape. Important for us, I feel like this was written for me. Basically, everything that we're seeing is a work in progress. There is no final anything in here, so take it with a grain of salt. We're just exploring, we're just theorizing. It tells us, on occasion, a mage tower may be found here, and it explains a Farron values freedom above all else, and nowhere is that freedom embodied more than in the winds of Wind Rider Valley. It was here that they sought refuge in the darkest years of their history, setting up camps where the towering canyon walls might hide them from view. This is interesting because if I didn't know any better, I would have said that this is a reference to the Farron's enslavement at the hands of the Scarix. However, we know from the recent lore discussion, the lore Q&A that was done in the Hytale Discord, that that is no longer lore accurate. So I wonder what the case is here. Either this blurb here is outdated and needs to change, or there's something else in the Farron's history that they are escaping from. Which, that's another thing actually. That lore Q&A could easily be a little video on its own. There's a few things that we can unpack there, but let's summon this portal and go visit the Wind Rider Valley. Now this is a Zone 2 piece. Howling Sands, piece of world generation. Hello, hello. And it is beautiful. I've been here a few times in creative and in exploration mode. Do we have a mage tower this time? It does not look like we do. At least from my experience, usually the mage tower is over here on this side of the map. But we can certainly see, like right here, some little Farron villages tucked away inside of Wind Rider Valley. Hiding from something. What that is, we don't really know, because as far as we can tell, they didn't have the relationship with the Scarix that it was, was originally described as the game was in development. That has changed. That has been reviewed, revised to some degree, and is no longer accurate. Maybe they were hiding just from Varian. Maybe they were escaping him. And then it does make me wonder also, are the Farrons going to keep their little wind bracers, their freedom bracers, where they have the little insignias? Let's actually see if we can go find one quickly. Oh, Farrons, there you are. And he's off. He's running. Will you hold still for me? There we go. Right there. The little bracers on the wrist. They've got the wind insignia on them. The wind iconography. Now, we're going to hop out of here and check out our next location. Wonderful. All right, I'm going to pop these back in the chest. There we go. Our next piece of the true Orbis, fragment of Orbis, is Dragonspire Weald. Now, this reads, A mythical beast sleeps here, bound in an eternal slumber. It says, there are frozen forests into which not even an outlander dares set foot, no matter how the whispers beckon. Legends about the region's name pile up, mountains obscuring the sky, towering trees grazing the clouds, or perhaps ancient creatures born of elemental ice slumbering among the peaks. A couple really interesting things in here. So first of all, creatures born of elemental ice. Interesting little, lore for dragon origins. Seems like they're born elementally, almost like it looks like the spirits are in the game. But the other really interesting piece here is the whispers. It directly references the whispers. We did a whole breakdown of this in a previous video, where we talked about the fact that the Outlanders seem to worship this god called the Watcher, whom they can hear whispers of. We had theorized if that was Varen, if it was Gaia, if it was something else entirely. But really interesting to see it referenced there as well. Let's find a dragon. Here we go. All throughout this region, you do find slumbering dragons here. Obviously, eventually, these guys are going to wake up, but they are not programmed to do so yet. But here in the Dragonspire Weald, you do find multiple instances of those sleeping dragons. Which makes me wonder what it will look like when we have other places for other types of dragons to spawn, like the fire ones, the void ones. I hope we get other types of dragons too, maybe for the other elements, like an earth dragon. A wind dragon? I feel like would just be a normal dragon, but I don't know. A dragon that flies, a dragon of the wind. But yes, multiple dragons do hide out in here. And other than that, it really does just look like, you know, the taiga generation that we saw posted even before the game came out. That's what we're seeing right here. Now, let's hop into another one of these worlds. I'm going to pop these back in the chest, and let's check out Tal'Kesi Refuge. This reads, deep beneath the desolate wastelands left by an ancient civilization, a primordial haven thrives. This is pretty much exactly what we have come to recognize from Zone 4, ancient civilization being Crucible, which was also referenced, if I'm remembering correctly, in that lore Q&A. We see this ashen, barren wasteland that used to be that human civilization. We can see there's the little Grim Reapers, the Wraiths, I believe they're called, wandering around the ashen landscape. It looks like snow. This is all ash. It's all pieces of ash. And then we get these giant roots. I think this is petrified wood that they're made out of. It's petrified tree trunk. Oop, yeah. Huh. Let's hop into them and see if we can find an opening somewhere. Here we go. And these trunks will lead us down. I currently have Fulbright on so we can see all of this a little bit better. Hello. Do you hear the ambiance change as we get lower? Now we can actually hear all of the, the jungle sounds, the birds chirping and everything else. And we emerge into this enormous subterranean jungle space. This is massive. And it leaves plenty of room for those, what are they, the Archaeopteryx, pterodactyl? These guys, to fly around. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And all the dinosaurs can be found down here, of course, living their dinosaur lives. Now, there's currently no structures above, no other hints at Crucible or what it would have looked like, just this new version of underground life here. But I really, really adore the addition of these root systems that lead you back up to the surface. I think these are so, so cool. And I would love to see, like, some of those roots extending down further into the caverns, or maybe some other pieces of charred tree trunks up here. Some remains. Now let's hop into our next fragment of Orbis. Pop you back in the chest. And let's grab at this. Silent Henges. This is one of my favorites. It reads, at times, the line between truth and fiction blurs. Not every fragment the ancient gateway shows you will hold the truths you seek. Yet surely nothing exists without purpose. Perhaps that leads us to a different question. Who built these ancient gateways and why? That is an excellent question. If I had to assume, it would be the civilization that used to worship Gaia. Those knights, that lost civilization, the people who would have lived at and built that forgotten temple. Because the same kind of magic that you see in these portals, like that little ring around it and the glyphs in it, look like the rings that hold up those floating pieces in the forgotten temple as well. This little magic element. So I would have to assume it would be the same civilization there. Is this corruption? Hello? Everything's gone. What just... Hello? So I found a bug. This is bedrock. Interesting. Okay, well I don't understand what's happening with the lighting there, so we're gonna go away. We're gonna move onwards a little bit. There are little pieces of you know, old ruins scattered around here, but the focal point is, of course, the Stonehenge, which looks absolutely magnificent. And we get all of these giant henges with these circles in there. This is obviously a take on the old stone circle setups, which don't seem to currently spawn in the game, but we've seen many, many pieces of concept art for. And we have these little stacked stones in the middle as well. I feel like this would be the perfect place to go obtain some sort of magic. I've said that from the beginning about the stone circles. I think that they would be best suited as a place to obtain some sort of arcane power, maybe related to whatever element you are currently standing within. And then that there would be some sort of version of these in different zones so that you could obtain different pieces of elemental magic from different zones. I think that would be an incredible application. But these are beautiful. They're breathtaking. And in fact, we may pause here and grab a potential thumbnail piece. I'm going to turn off my Fulbright so we can get a little bit of moody atmosphere. Oh, there we go. See, that's more like it. Here, this is a thumbnail tip for you. Turn your FOV to 30. And it will look so much more cinematic. Let's see if we can get the light kind of coming through the pillars like that. Oh, that's beautiful. Let's take a screenshot there. Screenshot. Maybe we get this one too. Screenshot. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right. Let me turn this back again. All right. You go back in the chest. And lastly, my very favorite. The Dreadwade. It reads, "A ravenous menace lurks at the heart of the swamp. The murky shallows are home to dangerous fauna. Few have experienced the terrors that lurk in Orbis's murkier depths. Fewer still have returned unchanged." Let's go. So if you did not know, now you know. The Hedera is one of my favorite unused mobs in the game. I love it so much. And here in the Dreadwade, we are in a sort of murky, marshy swamp that leads up to... Is this a trap? Are these trap platforms? Oh. Never have I seen this before. That's fun. But yes, we're in this swamp, which goes up to this tree. Now, if you did not know, this tree is not a prefab. It is procedurally generated. So the trunk and these roots here, these are all pieces of terrain generation that are made to generate like this. I think it's absolutely incredible. I love this so much. And when you go inside, you find this. This is, I believe it's called a Hedera throne. Let's check this real quick. I don't completely remember. Let's go to prefab list and I'm going to search up Hedera. I believe it, yes, it is the throne. So the throne looks just like this. I don't know why it doesn't spawn a Hedera right now. I feel like it should. But obviously, eventually, this place would be home to some sort of... Oh, and crocodiles. There's the dangerous fauna. A Hedera spawning in here. And I would imagine outside as well. Although we do currently have a Void invasion in here. So we do get some creepy Void Varen-style monsters. And this clearly corrupted atmosphere where we have all of these little poison pieces. We have the purple crystals. It's all very Void themed. And the spooky music and the spooky atmosphere, the crows flying around everywhere, and these broken pieces of tree. This actually really makes me think of the Tal'Kesi Refuge. Like, it's just, you know, broken bits of... Is this also petrified? It is also petrified tree. Now, I am going to end this the way that I've ended the past couple of streams as well, because I think that it's very fun to show off. I like getting to show little progress updates. This is my piece of worldgen version 2 so far. By the time you're watching this on YouTube, it is almost definitely live on CurseForge, which means that if you hop down into the description, you can click on a link and download what I'm about to show you and play it yourself. If you have any input on that or on the lore, you're welcome to hop into the Discord link down there too and let me know. But, oh, it's nighttime here right now. I love nighttime in here. This is my current world generation version 2 project, and it is divided into several distinct regions within here. So down here we have these Quebec villages, along with these new floating prefabs that you get every once in a while as well. We have these winding root systems that connect the ravines to these upper levels, where you can find some other secret homes that I will not be showing you, but you could explore and find them for yourselves. And we get to these islands floating up in the sky, where you can find a few larger structures to explore. And there's a lot that needs to be added to these upper islands right now, but I do think that they look quite beautiful. I'm so happy with this. I'm so excited to keep working at it as time goes on. But that is our lore for today. We do this every week. There will be a poll right now live. If you're watching this on YouTube, it will already be live. You can go vote on what we talk about during stream and the video next week. And there's the Discord if you want to hop into it and chat with us about anything. So, happy hightailing, and I will see you next time.